Hey, welcome to Low Tech Video 1.2. This is a topic from Algebra 1, simplifying radicals. The idea is to get as many numbers outside of the radicals as possible. So if we just run through this really quickly, the way I see most teachers teaching it, I don't want to reteach you. So however you learned it, I'm fine with whatever technique you use. But oftentimes I see this factoring technique. So let's see, 2 goes in there 147 times. Let's see, 3 will work, and we're left with 49. 49, oh, that doesn't help us much at all. This one we're just stuck with. So we really can't simplify this one. Over here, the other way I see teachers teach it, especially with simpler numbers like this, we can break this up into 4 times 2. 4 is a perfect square. That means the 4 can come out, but the square root of 4 is 2, so we're left with 2 root 2. We'll just do a couple more. Here we're at 112, so maybe we don't know what it factors into, so let's just start with a 2 again. And so let's see, with 2, let's see, we're at 56. 2 goes in there again, and then it's going to be 28. Ooh, that's 4 times 7. So here's a 4, and here's a 4. That means this really is like 4 times 4 times 7. So that's 16. That's a perfect square. That's going to turn into 4 root 7. Oftentimes what you're going to be seeing with the work that we do is not a lot of messy numbers, but some nice simple ones like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up into any perfect squares I know. Oh, I know that's 4 times 6. It's also 3 times 8, but that doesn't help us. Let's break this up. 4 is a perfect square, so we're left with 2 root 6. This is a worksheet where you have a key to go with it, so we'll stop there and move on to the new work for today. So here we go with measurement. So the kind of measurement we're going to talk about today is just area of triangles and segment lengths, as well as finding the midpoints. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. The trick is the base and height have to be perpendicular distances. So if we're here, that can be our height, and this can be our base. If we're here, this is perpendicular, so that can be our height. That's our base. Oh, but right here where we have this obtuse triangle, where this is greater than 90 degrees, now we have to think about our height as being the perpendicular distance. So our base is still just this 10 centimeters, but now we have to think about dropping a plumb line, a rope with a weight on it, and think about how long that rope would be. So here our 1/2 base times height is going to be 1/2 10 times 17. So how about the length of a segment? Well, the length of a horizontal or vertical segment is clearly just the y's don't change, so it's the change in x. So change in x is going to be 8. Here, for this vertical line segment, the x's don't change, so it's the change in y. So what's the length of that segment? The length of that segment is just 5. Oblique line segment, so we don't necessarily need to have these two lines already there, but when you do, hopefully you'll recall the Pythagorean theorem. So that means the Pythagorean theorem, that's our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Here's our a, here's our b, this is our c. But what that turns out to be is that because what we're going to do, we need to find c, our formula, I'm going to give it to you down here, is the square root of the change in x squared plus the change in y squared, and that's the length of an oblique line segment. How about the midpoint? Well, halfway here, we can just kind of eyeball it. It's going to be about there. Oh, look, it's the average x, the average y. So the average would be -5 plus 3 over 2. Oh, it's at -1. Oh, I eyeballed it not very well. Here, it's going to be the average. The x's don't change, so it's the average between the y's. So 3 plus -2 divided by 2, it's at 1/2. So 3 1/2. So the midpoint formula is a component by component formula where it's the average x, so we can say x1 plus x2 over 2, and the average y. But you'll see me just write it like this: average x, average y. So the average x, average y. So here we were at -1, -2. So here our midpoint is going to be this average x, this average y. So we're at -1, 1/2. We'll just do the oblique one for this. So we're going to find just one, and I'll have you do the rest. So if we find the oblique, so in other words, we're going to look for this. Let's find our midpoint first. So the midpoint will be average x, so -7 plus 2. We're at -5 divided by 2, -2.5. Then the average y is going to be 4 plus -2. 2 divided by 2, we're at 1. Let's take a look. -2.51. Oh, eyeballing it, that makes a lot of sense. Looks like that midpoint works. Let's find the length of this line segment. This is really important. So the length of this segment is going to be the square root of the change in x squared. Oh, the change in x, that's the difference, not the sum. When you're averaging, you sum numbers. When you're looking for the change, you're looking for the difference. So it's more like slope. So how do you get from -7 to 2? Oh, you have to go up 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. How do you get from 4 down to -2? Well, that's -6. We're going to square it, so we know it's going to be positive. 6 times 6 is 36. So we're at the square root of 8217, nothing pretty. And so we look at that and we think, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't think that is going to factor. So we can just leave it like that. So here we have an interesting question. We've got this triangle, and look on the key to see the correct solution to that. And they say, how can you determine whether this is a right triangle? Well, let's see. A right triangle would mean the two of the sides are perpendicular. Well, my guess is if two sides were perpendicular, it would be these two. How can we tell whether it's perpendicular? Oh, we can see if in fact their slopes are opposite reciprocal. So the opposite reciprocal of each other's slope. So let's look at the slope for this line. Change in y is up 8. Change in x is up 4. The slope is 2. Let's look at the slope over here. Change in y is down 3. Change in x is up 6. It's -1/2. Oh, yes, indeed. They are perpendicular. So this is a right triangle. So now we've talked about some measurement, finding lengths of sides, finding area of a triangle, and finding midpoints. Let's use that idea of a midpoint and and play a new game. But before we play this game, we're going to need some vocab. So the word congruent means same shape and same size. Similar means they're the same shape, but they're only proportional to each other. In other words, they're changed by a multiplier. So it's like the mini-me idea. So first, let's take a look at our midpoints here. So the midpoint here, I made them all nice, as you'll see on the key. So again, maybe you did this already, or you're going to do it, but I'll just show you the midpoints are going to be there. And for AC, they've said call this D, and BC, we're going to call this E, and they want us to make this line segment. So what are some observations you might make? Well, the one observation I see right away is that DE is parallel to AB. And that's just some notation, not a big deal. And we can also see that the length of DE, and here's how we describe the length. It's like absolute value signs. The length of DE is equal to 1/2 the length of AB. So when you connect midpoints on a triangle, you're going to get the fact that it's half as long. But we're going to connect another midpoint, and then we get this. I can't use my computer as a tablet today for some reason, so you'll have to bear with me. We get this other triangle. And this triangle, you might say it looks half as big because we know this is half of this, and we know this is half of this, and they're all parallel. But the interesting thing is now that we have this drawn, we can see that actually you get that triangle to be, you get 4 little similar triangles. And with those 4 little similar triangles, what is apparent is one of the big punchlines that come out of math, when you do a proportionality by a half, and I called it K above, your area actually gets scaled by 1/2 squared. So it's 1/4 the area of your original triangle. So to do just a few basic geometry things is that there's something called the triangle mid-segment theorem. And so basically you get this idea of cutting the sides in half, and then what you get, what results from that, is a segment that's half as long. So they don't put the absolute values here. I prefer that. So from this, you have some little problems you can figure out. And so when you make these similar triangles, one of the things that happens, if they are similar, that means the angles of the big one have to be the same as the angles of the little one. And I'm just going to leave it there. The key is online, and it's not something that I want to spend a lot of time on. I just want to expose you to some of the geometric concepts, as we're under quite a bit of time pressure this year as opposed to in the past. The places we'll be cutting down the most are the geometric ideas that I feel fairly confident are not going to be showing up on your SAT or PSAT tests. So please complete this. I probably will look at it in class. The key is online though, and as we will be having face-to-face time, there will be plenty of time to ask questions in class. The videos are just to give you a bare bones idea of the expectations. But please look at all the written work online, all the solutions, and we're ready to go. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Monday.